To create a user, we go to card holders and we go to users. We click add and we give the person a name. On the left, we choose their options. Are they allowed to open a door longer than the standard time, which you would have seen when we created a door? Does the user have the ability to walk through a door that has had the button pushed for privacy mode? Does the user have the option to go through a door that is in lockdown, whether it be open or closed lockdown? The set lockdown feature is a legacy feature for a particular escutcheon where the reader was located on the inside, and so it is rarely used nowadays. The office mode is if the user is able to put a door that is door type opening office mode into that office state, which is an open free passage mode. Use anti-passback is related to the anti-passback feature of if you enter an area, you cannot re-enter that area unless you have left the area through a separate reader. Enable auditor in the key should generally be utilized in all Salto sites, and this is generally ticked as part of a default setting during the initial setup. The PIN, if utilized, is for dual factor, meaning that they badge their card and then enter this particular PIN. We then have to look at the user's start date, as well as the user's end date, which is a hard-coded end date for the user. We then move over to calendar, and in most installations, we will utilize the calendar that is on the lock, not for the user themselves. The revalidation is a very important date because it sets how often a user must enter an update point to reconfirm that the data that is on their card is still valid and has not been changed by the head-end software. General recommendation is 7 days, and this is a requirement for a digital key, 7 days maximum, but it can be more if it's a physical credential. If we move further down, if we're using a mobile key, we will choose just in mobile, and we would enter the person's phone number in here, including the area code. For this example, I will be doing a physical credential. If you're using any of the other features, they will be listed below. We click save, and we now have the ability to generate a PIN code, which is this person's individual PIN code. We also then can apply their access. For example, I can give them individual doors with individual timetables. Or I can apply a user access level, such as the cleaner, which already has time definitions for it. Or I could supply them with zones and the outputs. But user access levels is generally recommended because it ties the single doors, the zones, and the outputs together for a generalized field. It's worth noting as well, if you give someone a user access level with 20 doors in it, if you then give them a zone or access point that includes these doors, you are simply just adding this on top. You are not changing anything in that space. Once you're happy with all this information, we click Assign Key. It will ask us which encoder we're using, and we click Edit Key. The encoder will light up, and you will present the card, and the data will be written onto the card ready for use. In the software, we see up the top that there is no update required, the valid date for it, and if we want to perform an update on the encoder, we can, and if the card is lost, we can cancel the key also. If there is an update or something is changed, such as I want to change his profile, the software will show update required against his profile itself, and it will also show that there is something to do via this red circle. If that user comes to an update point and an update is achieved, this red circle will automatically change back to a standard state.